Good morning and happy Tuesday. I thought it was Saturday when I woke up this morning, and then I was sad. But now weird. I'm happy again because I'm joined by Spencer Gilbert, Dan Murrow, and welcome back.
I'm back.
The triumphant
Fully recharged. I'm happy to be here.
And it's your birthday.
It is. Wow. I got my wife got me this awesome shirt. It says "Party on Wayne, Party on Darth." Get it? It's a Wayne's World.
I know those two things. Those are two things.
Happy birthday, Andy. What do you want for your birthday? What's your birthday wish?
I would like for Jordan Vogt Roberts to help us with the Honest Trailer.
Okay. So for Andy's birthday, let's all start a campaign to tweet Jordan Vogt Roberts starting right now.
I think he's busy right now.
Yeah, he's busy right now. Well, I should call it because we are live. We were literally just watching his tirade against CinemaSins and their Everything Wrong With. So let's
gotta hear both sides.
Yeah. But we're not them.
Yeah,
we're not them.
We're Homer Simpsoning into the shrubs this morning.
But as we've shown on news, I did say if he would like to help it do it. He said he would. So hey, let's not do it until he agrees to do it.
He can roast us.
Yeah,
that's why I don't mind people.
Oh no,
making
roast
fun of us. It happens every day.
Honest his own movie like you said he would. Let's see if he can be critical to his own work.
I've really enjoyed every encounter I have with him. We invite you. We warmly welcome you.
Let's do it.
Jordan Vogt Roberts. To come. I have nothing to do with the Honest Trailers, to be honest. I have
You're acting like that when Lance Hendrickson was here.
We still haven't released that video.
Someday.
Lance Hendrickson came in the video that'll never be seen of him just like, what the hell
that
is
was
this?
Not disavowing it at all. That was not disavowing it at all. That was saying I have no right to make this request.
I immediately was like, Spencer, he did it.
I'm just saying that these are the guys you want to talk to, Jordan.
Yes, but anyway, we aren't prepared to talk about that subject matter, but maybe we can later. Jordan, come in. I'd love to have that conversation.
I would absolutely.
He thinks it's the death of cinema. I could have that argument with him.
Well,
it's a good debate to have.
It's a good debate. Yeah. I think he's got some points though at the same time, but I think at the same time he should lighten up a little bit.
You know what?
I'm trying to kill cinema. I don't know what you guys are doing here at Screen Junkies. I'm trying to kill it so that I will have time off if there's no more movies.
Then there's no more work. All right. So just to be very clear, very quickly, I'm not disappointed. I wish I was involved with Honest Trailers. It's like the most
but you're a
amazing,
Screen Junkie, so
you are
guilt by association.
Yeah,
you're not getting away from this.
I'm saying I'm continually impressed with you guys and your talent and your skill and your humor. I think they are incisive and really smart. They're so fart.
They are that
Honest Trailers fart.
A lot of farts in Sweden.
Go watch.
I'm curious. Who do you think's more upset? Because fart is like in the language.
Go watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
I
saw fart in a lot of Swedish words.
I said fart.
Who do you think's more upset right now, CinemaSins or AMC?
Oh, AMC.
Transition.
Did you see that transition I did?
Yes.
AMC is probably the most upset because they are facing potentially the biggest lawsuit in television history, the biggest ever profits case in television history. Now, I think you guys may know that Frank Darabont, who was one of the original creators of the show, is already
showrunner on season 1, right?
A showrunner on season 1. Halfway through season 2, he was fired. I will tell you about an interview I did with Frank Darabont in just a little bit, in which he was very honest about his feelings about AMC. And he is suing them for $280 million, saying that basically they did funny business with the numbers to not pay him what he was owed. And now there's a second lawsuit from none other than Mr. Robert Kirkman himself, the creator of The Walking Dead.
All of these people who fired Darabont.
Exactly, yeah.
Gale Ann Hurd, Glenn Mazzara, and David Alpert. Now, David Alpert is in a partnership with Kirkman at their company. Glenn Mazzara took over for Darabont, and Gale Ann Hurd has been a part of the show. She's co-wrote Terminator. She's a big producer, very, very huge history. And she started the show. Now they are suing AMC as well. And basically it's this. They have a vertical integration for Walking Dead. So that means this. So for something like Breaking Bad and for Better Call Saul, that's produced at another and then they pay a licensing fee. AMC pays a licensing fee for those shows. But because AMC Productions is also making the show that they are airing, they're the distributor and the creator, so they are what they're claiming is that they're underpaying the production arm in order to underpay the creators. So if they're saying what they're owed is $30 million, given the ratings, which is an absolute juggernaut. They're owed, Frank Darabont says, $30 million per episode. They started at $1.4 million in season 1 per episode.
That seems a little high. Who's owed that much?
Frank Darabont? No, that's the profit.
No.
right? The profit is $30 million an episode.
So this is what they're saying. So if they're paying the production company $1.4 million per episode in season 1, and then they upped it to $2.4 in season 2, that's far lower than the licensing fees that they're paying for shows that have far fewer ratings. So Frank Darabont, financial experts come in and assess that what they were actually owed to the production company was $30 million per episode. And what that means is, if say you have a 5% stake, which is what Kirkman does, you would get 5% of that versus $2.5 million. I know we're crying for you, like it's still a lot of money. But the point is, they're saying they are massively, massively underpaying them because of their ability to do so with this vertical integration. Vertical integration in the morning.
Wow, I didn't think I'd be hearing that. Yeah, wake up.
Good morning, SJU. So this is a huge, huge deal. It's a
huge deal, yes.
Given that we are having such a shakeup with the networks right now, Netflix is making these big plays. There's a news story about it every day. They just snaked Shonda Rhimes from ABC. What do we think this means for AMC in the long run?
I just think it means for a lot of networks to play the accountant hooky anymore. Like, they're going to have to be more open up. And with Hulu's and Netflix and what's interesting about Netflix finances too is they buy it outright. Like, I know crew members, they get paid a lump sum to not get residuals like later, because Netflix wants to own it. Like, they want to own it all outright.
It's a buyout.
So they pay a fortune for some of these projects just to have it all, sever all ties from even unions, etc. I don't know if that works for SAG too. You know? I'm fascinated by that deal.
So,
it does work for SAG too.
Yeah,
so like Will Smith in is a complete buyout, which is crazy. That means they got to pay him a ton of money up front, which is a huge investment on their part, because if it doesn't get subscribers in, what it be worth, right? To have the Will Smith, it's because they won't even license, because most of these movie companies make more money listening to Delta or to, the TBS or whatever, and get all these extra ancillary profits, DVD sales. Like, Netflix can't do any of that. So it's fascinating to me, but I think as these other entities are coming, we don't know Netflix bottom line numbers. We don't even know their view numbers. So it's a crazy amount of guessing. And I think a lot of people, a lot of smart lawyers and accountants very secretly figuring out where the money flows. And I think Darabont credit, I think, has clearly opened up cracked open the casing, and now everyone who is sort of like, screw him, is like, wait a minute, he was onto something.
We're gonna sue too, because there's a really big argument to be made that they're absolutely correct. And Hollywood, like, funny business with the finances is not new, right? There are plenty of blockbusters that they will over time claim didn't make money.
No money.
These like amorphous marketing costs and distribution costs, and it's all to stop, to hold as many of the profits back and not pay people the percentage that they're actually owed.
But my understanding is that not many people get a percentage on a TV show. It's like showrunner and above, right?
Well, these are all above.
These are above.
They have 87 showrunners.
These are executive. Well, these are
because even the cast won't. They'll be the next ones to complain, though. For sure.
Exactly.
Because I remember it reminds me of the Simpsons one. Do you guys remember that, where the Simpsons cast was arguing over, because they were making a fortune? People were like, "Oh, boo-hoo, Harry Shearer, you're making millions of dollars for phoning it in for a day in a VO booth." But you got to step back and realize Fox makes an insane amount of money off of their voices and everything they do. So it's like, you do want your fair share, and you want what you contractually were get.
It's like basically giving themselves the right to run. They're not going into kind of like foreign deals and things like that, where they could get extra money in order to just hold it back for themselves as much as they can. AMC is doing this, and so this is Robert Kirkman. These are the people that started the show. These are the executive producers. So there's all very above the line. They do have a percentage stake. They're saying they're not getting as much.
Here's what I want to know. Who can I sue for the half season of Lost Time when Daryl was looking for Beth in the forest and it was completely pointless and didn't go anywhere? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Who should Dan sue?
Dan, Mr. Anti-Frivolous Lawsuit.
Can I call that
James Bond box set next?
Can I call that James Bond judge and get him to write me a
This court case is walking dead to the jury.
James Bond judge, will you write me a decision? Dead puns for
how much do you think that's worth for real?
$50.
$50 bucks.
Wow.
For a half season.
I gotta say, I would value your time a little higher than that, Dan. I mean,
that's like below minimum wage.
A half season. That's a good 6 hours.
Yeah.
You spend that, you're owed at least $500.
I mean, I wasn't on the clock. I mean, $50 plus lawyers' fees. All right.
Yeah, he's not asking for too much. He's not being egregious.
You know what else you're gonna like
I'm
today?
like Taylor Swift. I'm going to sue him for $1.
Just for the principle.
It's on the principle of the matter.
With that. All right. You know what you're going to like?
What, Ross?
Guess what? Star Wars news.
Oh.
Yeah,
no.
there were new details revealed about, hang on, the opening sequence of The Last Jedi. But guess what?
I don't want to see that.
We're not going to cover it. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to stick with
We're standing with Dan?
We're going to
We're
stand
standing
with
with
Dan.
Luke.
Staying with Luke.
Hashtag stand with Luke.
But no, let's actually ask this to the audience that's watching. We want to actually, do we embrace this and report on Star Wars in a broader sense and not get so minuscule and ruin the movie? Is there a point where this movie, do we need more? Do we need to know? Do we need more to go buy a ticket is what I'm saying.
No, not to go buy a ticket. And I think that we would be talking about this if Luke hadn't told us not to talk about it.
Spencer's wondering why I'm doing this. I just got a message from our producer that we're having some audio issues, so apologies. We are trying to fix them, and we'll all do this right now. Does this help? Is this helping?
But if Luke told you, even if I think Luke has given us permission though to actually like admit, yes, we should stop seeing things. We don't need to see more.
Yeah,
about
because
this
that tells me
franchise.
that it's out of the creator's hands, and the marketing department has overstepped their bounds. And I trust the Ryan. I trust Ryan and Luke more than I trust the Lucasfilm marketing department. Yeah.
I like the idea that his name would be Ryan Luke.
Usually the marketing is to sell you on a movie you don't know anything about. Like, we know this movie. We know, okay, you want to see this or not. I saw enough of a tease to know, cool, I want to see this. I don't need to see.
To give you a bit of context, we talked about Star Wars last week about the fact that Rian Johnson, the director of Episode 8, and Luke Skywalker himself, encourage fans not to really engage with the marketing materials before we see the movie so that we can discover the porks for ourselves. And Dan made a very valiant,
impulsive, foolhardy, reckless decision on the spot to say that we will not cover any more Star Wars news.
which now we will not cover any more Star Wars news.
That's not true, though.
No.
We'll cover Star Wars news, but we're not going to cover
the exhaustive trailer
breakdowns
and spoiling. Because I saw the headline for this article is like details of the opening scene revealed, and it's like, don't click here if you don't want to read it. And I was like, okay, and I just scrolled past it and didn't read it.
But does this expand to Han Solo, or is this just Last Jedi?
Andy?
For right now, I think it just goes to
Just for Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
I think Last Jedi. We know enough about it. We've seen the trailer. We've reported on it. I think we don't need to go that much into the details.
So if they reveal like vest spoilers from the Han Solo
for
trailer.
Force Awakens, we saw enough. We went and saw it. Then they started doing more and more TV spots, and more was shown. Like, we don't need it. You don't need it. Now look, I'm not judging you. If you want to go see it, but don't spoil it for everybody else if they don't want to see it.
I mean, they may drop another picture of a building next week, and I think people should see that building for the first time on screen.
Yeah.
But what if they put together another
Dan.
trailer that is like Force Awakens, where it doesn't reveal a lot? Could we then be like,
This is what I propose.
Okay.
I propose that we stop right now, that we truly do not engage in any more marketing materials, but every time a new thing is released, we right now start creating our best guess of what those things will be. And instead of actually doing a trailer breakdown, I see Spencer's honest version of, it would not be an honest trailer, but Spencer's version of that, or Andy's poster. That's what I want to do.
Or we just get someone else to review it and just put a warning on it. The four of us can go in dark.
We just go in dark.
Make Billy do it.
we can have Billy recreate it with hand puppets, and then the plurg is like meow, 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 and then Chewie's like,
no, but it's a serious question, and I'm curious what they're saying. I don't even know if they're saying on the chats, but did people I feel like people don't want to, but they can't resist.
Right.
Because that's where I usually fall in, of like, if it's there, I'm gonna click it.
Yeah.
But I kind of don't want to click it. I wish it wasn't there.
Because people on Twitter will post like screenshots or GIFs of something that we'll see no matter what.
I will say that in line with this, there was a huge leak. HBO had a huge leak, which we may talk about separately, but I want to know nothing. And I was really bummed yesterday because I accidentally guessed something in our, and I won't say what because I guess a lot of things, in our after show and our Game of Thrones show. And someone then tweeted me that was in the leak. Oh, you saw it in the leak. I didn't, and now I know, and I'm bummed. So let's make an agreement and a pact all together.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan. Any other day but today, Satan, not on Tuesday.
Dan can vouch, when Force Awakens happened, people were somehow a screenshot of Kylo Ren stabbing Han Solo got out before the movie was out and started getting tweeted at everyone.
It leaked like the like there was like critic screenings, and the next day I got an image tweeted to me of that spoiler, and it's like, number one, how I had Batman v Superman. I had images leaked and sent to me on Twitter before the movie came out, and it's like, number one, how do people get these so early? I mean, somebody is in these screenings that's snapping pictures. There's a turncoat somewhere. And then number two, it's like, why?
Yeah, why is the bigger question?
I just don't get it. Like, I get the need for some people to, and we've certainly done it with trailers here before, of like analyzing what the studio's sending you and like trying to intuit the tea leaves what's going to go on in this movie. But the impulse for some people to spoil it for others and be like, I'm going to ruin this movie for you. It's like, it's just such a strange impulse. It's like, who wins? Who wins in that scenario? Like, do you win? You don't, like, what?
They spoiled it for you.
Yeah. Do you get like, is there like satisfaction that comes with that?
So I
guess.
feel like there is some weird, don't you feel like there is some weird, I think a lot of the people that do the leaks are bitter employees that are just angry at maybe even the person right above them, and you're just ruining it for everybody. But I do think that there's some kind of like, people can gain some satisfaction out of just either ruining things for you, either whatever it is, like telling, I'm saying let's take a vow and not ruin things for each other, but why do we do half the things we do?
Well, I think most people who are watching don't do that. But there's this. I think there's the I can't say it. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Anonymity. Sorry, that too early.
Yeah.
But that is a big key of it, because then you don't know. If it's hard for people to do it into your face. I think we would have a lot less spoilers in life, and just hate in the world if you had to always do it to the person's face, than on your keyboard behind an avatar and just do it.
But why even anonymously? JTE, how do you feel about that? I would like to know in our lower third. Weigh in, JT.
Nice.
Nothing like putting JT on the spot. That's going to work out to do it.
Weigh in on humanity while you work out our audio issues, JT.
He's literally been running around this studio like a roadrunner, fixing cameras the entire
really
show.
Unnerving.
The thing we can talk about, though, I mean, because this isn't a spoiler, but George Lucas is apparently going to be involved in the movie. Is that true?
What?
Yeah. So no. He's saying
There he is. The Sith rule of two.
Oh, look how happy he is.
He's not involved in movies anymore. He's very particular about how the Jedi Order works.
So basically, Kathleen Kennedy said that he's kind of becoming a fan, but people and able to step back. But when asked, does he weigh in? She says not really, but he'll whisper in my ear every now and again. Usually, it's something specific or important to him about Jedi training, things like that. So I'm really curious to know what you guys think those whispers are.
The rock levitation is the fourth stage of Jedi training. It's very, very important that you do not do the rock levitation.
The Journal of the Willis, Chapter 7, states that the Order must first.
He's totally turned into like the super nerdy fan.
Not fan. It's just it's sad. It's like, I feel bad that he's watching his own creation.
He's resorted to the guy on the internet who's like, excuse me, it's episode 4.
Yeah, and he's like consulting his notes from the 70s when he was like on acid, and he's like, it's called The Trial of the Gormagon.
You think he has to go back to the notes? You don't think he's got it all up there?
I think he wrote all of this in the.
I know, but I don't
70s.
think it's like that. I think it's in his head. I think he's. No, that's the.
I think it's also like I do, because he gets a bad rap, and we've all been. I think, and we've all had our turn at being very harsh about George Lucas, but it must be a little tough to like, he sold Star Wars to Disney for like $6 billion. It's great, but like to now be completely and utterly out of control, and to just see like it has to bother you that a studio is now going back, like not only are they making new work, they're going back to your original work, and they're like, here's the real story of how the Death Star got blown up, and here's the real story of young Han Solo. It's like, I mean, I feel like he didn't plan to be like, I anticipated that they would
bags
go
of
forward.
money.
No,
he knew what he was in for when he signed that contract.
Life than money. I'm just saying it would distress me, even if I did make that deal, to see it now being commodified. And it's like, this is a guy that took took decades off in between the original stories and the sequels, and now Disney's like, nope, there's one a year every year, no matter what. I don't care if the director's good or not. We'll replace him. Who cares? It's just Han Solo. And it's I think he's got to be upset by that.
That was an actual quote from the minutes from that meeting.
I just don't buy. I mean, sure, but he doesn't. He's not allowed to be. He had a.
I'm just saying there's got to be a piece of him.
He made that choice.
I know. I think it's
he
tragic.
knew what he was doing, and he decided to take the money and give it away.
He's very rich, and he's done some great things with what he's got. But like, he was a real filmmaker in the '70s, like one of the best all-time original filmmakers. He tried to move on from Star Wars, and he wasn't able to. He got pulled back in, made the prequels, ruined his own creation.
Did he do Red Tails?
He did Red Tails. He did American Graffiti was before that.
Animated
movie.
THX.
Well, before
he couldn't escape the gravity of Star Wars.
No.
Now he's stuck with it, and he doesn't even own it. And now he's just whispering in the ear about Jedi training levels.
I feel like probably we missed an entirely amazing Godfather opportunity with pulling him back in, but that's fine. I will let that pass immediately. But yeah, he did movies that were quite different than Star Wars, and then it's like he never was able to return. Whether you like THX or not, it's interesting. And American Graffiti is very much of its time, but then after Star Wars, it seems like maybe the pressure was too much.
I mean, it was a global phenomenon. Like, you can't separate yourself from that. He couldn't escape it.
That's why George isn't finishing the books.
Arden?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like even with Kathleen Kennedy running it, like they used to all hang together. It was like George and Kathleen and Spielberg, and like they were like the crew. And then like even now, like he sells it to Disney, and they're like, Kathleen Kennedy's going to be in charge of Star Wars, like
Indiana Jones,
and Indiana Jones. And in the back of his mind, George Lucas is like, yes, I don't own it, but it's Kathleen. Like, she might call me up and be like, hey, we're kind of stuck on this. Maybe you can help us out. And they're just like, we don't care what you think.
Well, I mean, that's not what that quote says.
Away.
He still whispers in her ear. They're still listening.
He calls her. She seemed to be very specific that he was whispering in her ear, which is full of dollar bills, and she can't hear what he's saying.
Usually it's something specific or important to him.
To him, exactly. He will whisper in my ear. These are things that are important to him. I don't give a shit, but they're important to him.
I'll agree with you on that one.
A young porg is called a porgling. Okay, thanks, George.
It's a little sad.
I'm writing 7 scripts. Okay, goodbye.
Thank you, George.
I
That's
just
why we
feel
paid you the money, George. Go away.
Yeah, I'm not saying like you should yes, he sold it and he made a lot of money and that's great, but I'm saying it's hard for me to believe that there are no moments of seller's remorse.
He probably could have made more money.
Yeah.
I mean, because he got to be bored to some degree now too. He really does, and I feel like it's probably like the season 1 of Veep. Did the president call today? Nope, not today. Like no one's taking his call. No one cares. Mm-hmm. No one wants him to do anything outside of the world.
Fund a million of his own indie movies if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could.
Listen to this quote, because this is what give us this quote. I think he's starting. This is what Kathleen Kennedy said. I think he's starting to settle into this and just be a fan. It's taken a while. It's hard to let go after 40 years. That's a lot of expectations and things he thought a lot about. Suddenly, that next generation, that whole thematic idea he came up with, is in process. Like again, that to me is saying like it's basically saying like he's having a very difficult time with this.
It's like retirement is hard, I think, for anybody, but this has got to be especially hard for. Look, no one can take away the fact that he gave the world Star Wars. No one can take that is his baby. He invented it. It changed the face of entertainment. I mean, this is a phenomenon. It's a religion in Europe, and now he's older and he's retired, and he's like, do I golf? Like, what do I do? Hashtag what should George do?
What should George do?
Either Martin or Lucas.
And it's Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Lucas should do a TV show. I think he should go on Netflix and do a TV show. Yeah, whatever he wants. But
anything.
I think HBO, whatever, go do a cool 10 episode, just something different.
Yeah.
It's like, why not?
But would we accept that
so
if it's like if he was doing something that wasn't Star Wars? Would be like, oh, you made like a documentary about
the pressure's
education
on.
or something.
The pressure's on for sure. I mean, no one saw Red Tails, right?
Right.
But still, I mean, it's weird. Like he basically can do anything he wants, and I guess it's impossible to imagine the pressure of not only having that ability of I can do anything I want, but also I already made Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like he's in a completely different mindset than anyone else. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And she's now back to doing more Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Because she.
And tweeting.
Yeah, and
it's hard to let go.
Oh, she'll tweet.
She'll fire up a spicy tweet.
She will. Salty, saucy, spicy, all of it.
Bless her.
She's amazing. But yeah, you have to think after creating a phenomenon like that, it is a little bit like she tried to do those other novels under the pen name, the detective
Casual
novels.
Vacancy.
Yep. Yeah. We love the JK. So
JK, I don't. I just wanted to say JK, I do.
Central Perk says that your Spencer's George Lucas is spot on. So for the rest of the show, Spencer will only speak in his George Lucas voice, which we are going to celebrate Mr. Andy Signore's birthday now, you guys, by saying some of the other people that also have birthdays today: Jennifer Lawrence,
Ben Affleck,
Anthony Anderson, and Deborah Messing all have
That's a good birthday.
a good
birthdays
day.
today.
I think Madonna's tomorrow.
So really?
Yeah, I think so.
I
think she was close to me too.
I just have Gandhi and Sting.
You have Gandhi.
Those are two good ones.
Me, Spencer, not George.
I have Britney Spears and Lucy Liu.
Oh, nice.
I don't even know who's. I don't know who's on mine. I don't know if I don't have like a big like great one on my birthday.
The birthday greats. Should we look it up? When's your birthday?
January 4th.
January 4th. If you guys want to find out who Dan shares a birthday with. But we should
I was about
celebrate.
to think like, should I have said that? But then I'm like, you can find it.
Yeah, you can just search it.
I think it's on
Famous
my Twitter
birthdays
profile.
on January 4th.
Yeah, you put it in there by accident and then you forget.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Andy. We're
Thanks
going to
for
make up.
Andy.
I was going to challenge these guys to make up a movie that includes all of those actors and Andy as a birthday present, and then we'll say a tribute to you. What do you think?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Do it. Spencer, you're up.
Okay, I've got this idea for a new Star Wars movie. It's about the formation of kyber crystals. And they form deep underground in their mind in caves. And it's about a young girl, a kyber crystal miner named Jennifer Lawrence. And she and Ben Affleck meet these two twin aliens, Anthony Anderson and Deborah Messing.
Are the voices?
Yeah, it's performance capture. They can do really great things over at ILM. And together they read a textbook on crystal dynamics and formation, and it's a planned quadrilogy.
Wow.
Ridiculously.
I'm not going to get better than that. I think that's the
Can we hear Mark Wahlberg's movie?
ridiculously on
want to?
target.
Yeah. It's your birthday. If you want me to do it, I mean, I think everyone does. Is he directing this movie?
Yeah, it's his directorial debut.
Yeah, I got a movie I'm going to direct. It's got Jennifer Lawrence and Ben Affleck in it. They play two people from Boston. It's called The City, and Deborah Messing is their mom, because that makes sense, right? And Anthony Anderson is a cop.
Yep.
Have you seen The Town? It's just like that, except it's called The City.
They rob banks?
They rob banks. And Jeremy Renner's in it too. And so am I.
Wow.
And I wrote it.
All right.
That sounds good.
Very
Which movie do you want to see, Roth?
Oh God, I want to see them. Can I have? It's your birthday. Can I see them
We'll
both?
do double feature.
Double feature
All
for
right,
your
deal.
birthday.
City and what was yours called?
Crystal Cave, the Shining of the Kyber.
Crystal Cave.
Shining of the
The
Kyber.
Shining of the Kyber. That's the new hashtag.
City. I like
it.
Hashtag the
Crystal
city.
Cave,
Crystal
the
Cave.
Shining of the
Shining of the Kyber.
And the city.
And the city.
I'm sold. I'll buy them all. I'd lost my Texan accent.
We're gonna.
My Texan guy? Didn't I do a Texan?
You're Haley Joel Osment in Entourage?
I can't even. I'm so bad at accents. I can't remember when I do one.
Do you want to pitch your own movie? The only thing missing from those movies is that you were also supposed to be in them.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah.
no, I was.
I don't think I was clear.
I was an extra.
Got it.
My birthday gift to all of you is to go watch Catch Me If You Can, and watch the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio has the bag of groceries and is staring at the pilot suit in the window. If you catch me, if you can, walking behind him without a beard, and I'll just play that character in
How
both
many
movies.
times have you been? Okay, wait a minute. So that's one. You were also on the obstacle thing. You were on American,
Wipeout.
right?
I was on,
Wipeout.
Don't talk about it too much, but I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
At midnight.
I'm pretty sure we
midnight,
can
sure.
we can Google all
Roll
of
the
this.
clip. I was on Couples Wipeout with my wife. Yes, I was on Jerry Springer once, way back. That was a highlight of my high school.
In high
Like
school?
in the prime Jerry
Wait,
Springer,
like in the
97.
crowd, in the audience,
So at the
or-
end, where he's like, "I love Jerry." At the end, I had like an epic, like 10-second, like screaming to Jerry wrestler moment,
Sounds about right.
and like everyone in my town saw it. Like next morning, like, "Oh my God, you were on Jerry last night!" It was a big deal.
What else?
I was
Anything
on
else?
Sally Jesse. I did the whole talk show circuit in New York, just so I could like be in the like I had Jenny Jones. So I'd like that was like the thing in high school. Like we would go do it, so that way when you see the episode, you see me in the audience being like, being an extra in the audience. It was fun. I think think I still have a tape. I'll have to bring it. Maybe that'll be a
I know. We should bring in the
extra real.
compilation. We were not organized today because we should have had a compilation of just that to celebrate your birthday. But happy birthday,
thank
Andy
you guys.
Signor.
So happy.
We're going to work on getting Jordan Vogt Roberts. Tweet at him. Ask him to come do the honest trailer.
Maybe not today.
No. Look, I wasn't super nice on Kong, but I did. I mean, I applaud it's what it was. Like, I think it's not a bad movie. But I had issues with it. But I think he's a talented director and writer. I'd love to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I'm going to say something sincere since that's what I try to do, and then I'll accidentally say farts, or Spencer will say something really funny and I'll forget what I was saying. Andy, happy birthday.
Thanks, Roth.
Thank you for creating this brand and this team and this group. Thank you for being our leader. Thank you for being just nuts enough to be amazing. Thank you for bringing us into this world and creating honest trailers, which I think are amazing.
You are not the father.
And this is what I've been trying to say. This is what I've been trying to say the whole time, and I didn't know if you guys knew this, but Andy's our father.
Yes, I am your father.
And it's super.
But no, thank you all. Thanks for making this brand what it is. It's a team effort, and it's amazing fun to work with you guys. Everybody behind the scenes everywhere.
Everybody, Billy, thank you, JT.
JT, yeah, thank you guys.
And
Ryan,
again,
who's trying to be Parker.
The new Parker.
Good luck.
The new Parker, we like him. New Parker. Honest trailers again, amazing, but again, I have nothing to do with them, Jordan. So, but do
and
tweet
John
at
Bailey and Brett and Joe.
Mr. Joe
Kevin and
Kevin
TJ and all our
TJ,
editors, and Robert, a lot of people make those honest trailers happen.
All killing cinema together. One big team.
I think we've done our part today to murder cinema, so we can go out, be nice to each other, and
Roll the outro.